Hey, Business 163 Personal Finance. This is now video number 2. And as you see from the title, video number 2 in module 6 on spending, this second video is on the whole topic of brands. Do we buy based upon a brand? What does that mean? What does that mean for us in our pursuit of value, right? The whole idea that we introduced in the first video, right? Or what does it mean about us perhaps being someone who pursues brand for the sake of, well, status, prestige, outward appearance, and those kinds of things, right? So we want to chat about this because, quite frankly, the reliance upon brands can do many things for us, including tempting us to overspend. So let's consider this. What is it when we talk about this whole topic of brands and spending? You can see this opening illustration, this young lady shopping for clothes, perhaps driven to shop in a particular store because of the brands that they carry. Well, brands have been around for, oh my goodness, an awfully long time, right? Marketing was built upon the whole premise of establishing a brand that consumers and buyers would recognize. And perhaps there is no other clearer example of the power of branding than the lowly Naval Orange. You see here in this illustration, you see two oranges before you. The one on the left is a common Naval Orange. Could have been grown in California, might have been grown in Florida, might have been grown in South America, but it's here served up to us in an American grocery store. You can see from the outside, the one on the left is unbranded. There's no brand on it, right? The one on the right, however, is a sun-kissed orange. Yes, those magic 7 letters, S-U-N-K-I-S-T. Now, frankly, for decades, we have been promised and assured by very expensive marketing that the sun-kissed orange is juicier, sweeter, and better for our children than other types of oranges. And so, to this day, the statistics seem to suggest the American consumer is willing to pay up to 37 cents more per pound for a sun-kissed orange versus a non-sun-kissed orange. That's right. We have been convinced that buying the branded orange is worth more. It is worth more of our food budget dollar. Now, let me ask you an actual question here. Just realistically, do we really believe the sun-kissed orange is truly sweeter, juicier, and better for our children than the non-branded Naval Orange? Quite frankly, I would tell you not, right? I mean, we have no way of knowing. It's very possible these two oranges came off the exact same tree and just one got the label and one didn't, right? We have no way of knowing just because it got the little sticker on it that the sun-kissed orange is better, sweeter, juicier, has more vitamin C, better for our kids, or any of that stuff, right? Now, I will tell you, for those of you with an eagle eye who notice that the color of these two oranges is slightly different on the slide, these are just stock images I pulled off the internet, okay? So don't get worried about that. I'm not really talking about two wildly different oranges, just got in the color. All right, but you see the power of brand, right? That consumers trust the brand and are willing to pay more for some reason. And I want to investigate that a little bit in this deck. I want to talk about that a little bit. What is a brand? And you know that lots of brands have been, quite frankly, burned into our awareness and consciousness, right? You look at the whole flurry of logos and names, brand names that are thrown up in this image I found on the internet, right? Lego, Subway, YouTube, Galaxy, 7-Up, right? IKEA, or as Americans pronounce it, IKEA, right? Disney, Volvo, just tons of logos and brands you see represented in that jumble to the right on this slide, right? Not to mention, I can just mention Amazon, Apple, Coca-Cola, Toyota, right? And you immediately have a very great awareness of what those brands do, what they sell, why they exist, what your experiences have been with them, right? That's the power of brand. One, You remember it, right? You think about it. You recognize it. But really, what is a brand? A brand is a promise. It's a promise of quality and consistency and reliability. Think about it. You're in the grocery store and you want a cola. You can buy either the branded Coca-Cola or the no-name, unbranded, store-brand cola. Many of us, given the opportunity, will still gravitate towards Coca-Cola. Why? Because the name, the brand, promises us it's going to be the same Coke we've enjoyed since we were little kids. It's going to be the same taste, the exact same Coke that we've had so many times before. How many times have we, quite frankly, been, well, maybe a little disappointed in the cheaper, unbranded cola alternative we bought from maybe the store's own brand or some convenience store with an off-brand we'd never heard of before, right? A brand is a promise of reliability and consistency. It whispers to us, hey, you remember us, you remember your experience with us, you can count on us, you can rely on us, we will be there for you. You can trust us. Those magic 5 letters, T-R-U-S-T, you can trust us. That's the power of brand, a promise of consistent, reliable consumer experience. Now, the reality of our shopping life is we don't want to compromise on quality. We want to have that good, reliable customer experience, but we shouldn't be duped into assuming that the well-known brand will always be automatically better than a brand we don't recognize, right? At some point in time, every brand was really completely unknown to us, right? At some point in time, way back, perhaps, we tried it for the first time. In fact, we suggest to you, you should be suspicious of companies that spend an awful lot of money on image-oriented advertising, rather than rely upon the promises that this will make you skinnier, sexier, more recognized, more secure in yourself, better self-esteem, etc., etc. Well, frankly, just turn the bottle around and read the label, right? Read the label, see if the quality and the value seems to be there, or is it, quite frankly, that you're really weighing the option between product A and product B, which, if you were honest, it's impossible to tell the difference between, even though one has a 3,000 times higher price. And you'll see that in the supplemental video about the real hidden cost of bottled water. Yes, bottled water, spoiler alert, at least a third of the stuff out there is just tap water. Tap water with a 3,000 time higher price than just getting water out of the tap. That's right. Sometimes it's that. All right? So, should we automatically presume the brand promises us better quality, better consistency, better reliability? It's not always true. So remember, ever since you were a little kid, you have been told that one brand is superior to another. And some company has spent an enormous amount of money to tell you this again and again and again. None of the money spent makes it accurate. None of the money spent makes that claim true. And therefore, when we talk about spending our own money, we need to be a little skeptical. We need to be willing to consider the best possibilities. We need to be willing to see whether the quality is really there. And quite frankly, we need to ask ourselves honestly in the mirror, why are we drawn and attracted to particular brands? For some types of items, it very well is simply that we have consistently had a great customer experience with that brand and we want to stick with it, and it's easy for us to be loyal and search for the brand that always seems to have done us right. In some other types of things, though, however, it's because, well, we like wearing the logo. We like having the logo on our chest, on our feet, on our handbag, on our wherever it is, right? And that has very little to do with actual quality and more to do with, well, other emotional needs we have. Now, no judgment. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves that because that logo is prominently displayed, it's higher quality. We should know better by now. There's no assurance of that. Sure, there's the promise of that given to us by the manufacturer, but that doesn't mean that promise is true. So if that's not the reason why we're drawn to certain status and luxury brands, well then let's just be honest why we are. Because perhaps we're a little insecure about whether we're successful, whether we've arrived, and we'd like to tell everybody who will see our car, who will see our handbag, who will see the cut of our jib and the logo on our shoes, that we have arrived. And that's really the reason we're tempted to pursue certain brands. Now, I'm not here to tell you that that's wrong. I'm not here to tell you that pursuit is empty or shallow or vacant or any of those things. No, I'm simply saying let's be honest why we are pursuing those things, especially when we are trying, in this class, Business 163, to align our spending with our budget. That's the main point behind this module, module number 6. I hope you found this thought-provoking, or at least a little enlightening, and we will see you in the next video.